So what am I on today, people? I've been waiting for a mad one to do this to get the right energy for it. And I'm going to take my sweet merry time going through it. Well, yeah, it's about Mobb Deep. And it's the third of the third. 3 and 3. Why am I saying that? Because it's significant to the man Prodigy. Yo, let me cut them beats anyway. Try and do that rapid. Whoop. There we go. Cut that. Boom. Right. Ching chong chong. Pow pow pow. P double. The HAV. Together you get the MOBBDEEP. Mobb Deep. Saying you're representing for Bandana P. R.I.P. Rest in beats, fam. You was blazing them beats in your time. Bernadette this Paolo. For anyone who don't know what this is, it's Paolo Santo. It's what they call Hollywood. Oh, well, yeah, I think that's what it's for. And that's kind of ironic because how P felt about Hollywood, but why? This is the kind of, you could say, I don't know, I'll say protect you from the spirits, but, you know, cleanse the aura around you and, you know, set a good intention and that kind of thing. And you saying, going to be speaking of P and, you know, what he got up to in his infamous life. Feeling like that's a good thing to do. So, just getting the burn on the Paolo. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I did a little sound check before. It sounded like it was good, so hopefully this is good. I pray. We'll get this nice and heated. It's fine. I don't seem to have that kind of flow. Anyway, people, this ain't working out too well. Let me see if I can downsize that. Clicking too much on the screen. There we go. Right, yeah, I want you to be able to see the whole chart. Like I said, I'm going to take my sweet merry time and Paolo ain't hot like how I want it to be hot. So I can see. Should start to see the smoke coming off that maybe. There we go. Torch. Boom. Stronger flame. Another reason why I'm actually doing this, taking the time to do this, astrology consists of the 4 elements. And what are the 4 elements, you ask? Well, the first element, believe it or not, is fire. Second one is earth, and this is wood, so obviously it comes from the earth tree. As I mentioned, holy wood. And then, what is the next one following? I'm sure the people into astrology already know. There you go. Air. Stoking the flame. That's where I want it to be now. So air is the, and last but not least, the last should be first and the first should be last, and all that are the other way around with my vocal dyslexia. That's water. So they're the 4 elements. Anyway, it put some good intention around me in this video and just in general, because this one's going to get deep. And obviously ironic because it's Mobb Deep and I like to get deep. Pop says I'm too deep. Other people might say the same thing. I don't know. I'm an intense guy, but makes me very fitting for what I'm about to present to you right now. So anyway, I wrote some notes. Let me find these notes. Find right on the first page. What have you got? You got Prodigy, born on the 2nd November 1974. Flip my mouse up here. And you got Havoc, born on the 21st of May 1974. So these guys were only born like less than 6 months apart. And pardon me, brought to you by H2O. I was watching some Prodigy documentaries and listening to his audio book, all that kind of thing, yeah, because P was just, like you say, a real one. And the amount of times he was coming with brought to you by Nine Ruger in his trucks, and that guy loved driving like the Porsches, the trucks, that whole thing, the cars, and yeah, he's big on the guns. And the reason why I can show you that anyway, this here is his midheaven in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars also rules like aggression, violence, firepower. You could say the military on one level, but let me show you in these other charts because they sometimes present a little bit better. Boom, got the right one. About this one. Yeah, there we go. That's P's chart. So, if you can see up here, this sign I'm circling, which is basically supposed to signify the horns on the ram that I'm just delicately going around, is Aries, and this here MC, or also means midheaven, represents the highest point on the chart, and like the horizon, or sorry, the midheaven actually. The horizon is the ascendant. But anyway, point with that, right, is that is the point that people will know about you, your reputation, what you're about, who you, your vocation almost, that kind of thing. And Prodigy, having Aries on the ascendant, he was definitely the leader. In fact, the guy was funny. He had like a bag of monikers, and I had to write them down just because I couldn't remember them all off the top. I mean, Don P, RSVP, VIP, Bandana P, 40-inch Cable P, Capital P, Field Marshal P, P Double, Captain Crunch Dog, Las Vegas P, which is a bit deep, and naturally the infamous P. And I'm pretty sure there's more, but you know, P was like that. And I actually seen these guys in Manchester. I actually have to shout that out because they come and did a little gig at the Apollo, and as much as Mobb did their thing, i.e. Havoc and Prodigy, personally, Twin Gambino and ALC Alchemist held it down. They did their thing that night. The sound on the set wasn't the best, and I mean even the acts that come on before them were struggling with that sound. But like, yeah, them two guys, they made me feel like it was a good show. So thank you, Twin. Thank you, AL. Right. Anyway, that was a long time ago. We're talking like 05, you know. Oh, ain't time flying. Right. So getting back to it. Personally, I've noticed, or like through the mythology of what I've read, Hermes, I always like to say this, and Hades had a special relationship that I've come to find that Scorpio and Gemini have. And I mean, I've read this from like Linda Goodman and beyond, and I don't know, maybe elsewhere. But the thing with that is that Hades is the lord of the underworld, and Hermes is the messenger of the gods. So essentially, Hermes being the lord of the underworld spent a lot of time there, and you know didn't really get out and about like some of the other gods. He was essentially the lord of he's like the Grim Reaper, lord of death, like keeper of the souls, so to speak. And Hermes was able to, unlike most, well, pretty much any other soul, Hermes had a special past, hence why I call it a special relationship. And the ability to travel between the underworld, the overworld, and I'm not sure if it was the water world, but basically the three levels and the layers of the worlds. And with that, he was able to get in and out. And I feel like Hades gave him special privilege. Privilege be the best word. Anyway, let me read through these notes. I've got quite a bit. It's going to be like I say, it's not going to be a quick video, this one, because I I mean, I don't want to rush it. And I heard someone say something about, say someone that was louder. I'll say it straight. Like, say your name and say your name today. It's what it is. Not like I'm the only person in this game and I never learned anything from anybody else. That's like a naive thing, man. Come on, man. I've learned loads and loads of stuff from so many other people in this thing. But at the same time, I taught myself because it was my own volition that took me to them and compiled all of this stuff in my head. So it's a bit of both. And a lot of reading and a lot of observation as well. But stuff that I'm actually about to read, I wrote down and I literally just started writing a little while back. In fact, let me see. I actually dated it nearly a month ago, and I just literally started. It was flowing with it, so like started writing, which is not that usual for me. So when I do that, I want to actually try and read it, but I'm not really. How can I say? Practicing going back and reading my own writing. So we'll see how this goes. Havoc used to write rhymes for both of them. I say that because it was known that Havoc wrote a lot, if not all of the rhymes on, well, not all of them, maybe, I think actually, he wrote something, on the Juvenile Hell album, which was from 1993. And that was like their debut album. It was kind of like a minor thing in the sense that it wasn't the smash that this album was. I believe I have the other one somewhere, I can't find it. But like the synchronicity of who I got this CD from, and I'll actually just point it out and say it now. His son is there on the chart. He's a Sag basically, and yeah, my Uranus is about there. And long story short is, yeah, it's his CD. I ain't gonna put him on blast and say his name like that, but he knows who he is. And yeah, one day when he sees this, let's just say, yeah, it's going to a very, very, very good cause. And yeah, told me at the time he's way beyond that. He's a Sag. Come on now. So, but no, the point being, anyway, is right. I didn't spot the destiny in the whole big thing until later. But the same, you know what? It's mad. How me and that guy probably had a link between each other before. That's even stranger. I say Uranus, yeah, and Sun and whatever. And I'll just put it quickly. I had a computer game which I lent to someone, and essentially they didn't give it back. And I think what they did is basically did a Peter and Paul situation, and they took this kid's game to give me. And the only reason why I even remembered it is because I ended up going to the kid's house. Well, I say going to the kid's house. We become friends later, about 7 or so, well, give or take years later at school. And then I had this feeling like when I got to his house, like just remembering going there many years before. And it didn't probably sink in maybe the first time, I don't know. But anyway, random synchronicity story. And I'm sure he remembers that, so, you know, that's a mad one. But yeah, that shows you how karma and destiny brings people back around into people's lives. Almost to the point you can see that very much in soul in astrology, as we're about to see when I put like the charts together and do a bit of synastry with these guys. So I'm probably going to do them separate and synastry, obviously. So the breakthrough album was 95. Follow-up album Hell on Earth was 96. And then another notable album that they did, which I really was on at that time, due to the age I am, was Murder Music in 1999. And what I've put here is, if I was to say in a critic style, Mobb Deep were like the Scorsese of hip hop. I was actually just listening to the intro of the Free Agents CD, which my cousin bought to this CD. I don't think he has it like many of the things that, you know, over all these years, you know, come and go. But that was a proper good CD. It's when they first got out of contract and started doing a little thing for themselves. But at the beginning of that, there's an excerpt of Ice-T speaking about hip hop, and he's kind of basically kind of saying like he does a horrorcore style, and they basically took that excerpt and put it on the beginning of that album. And the reason why I'm speaking to that is because what I'm going to get into is kind of I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of this. Going to get a little bit gritty, a little bit grimy, a little bit Mobb Deep, and just to like put it on the real, the reason why it's probably took till today. I mean, one, Prodigy had a 3-3-3 tattoo on his neck. Today is the 3rd of the 3rd, which is why I probably stated that at the beginning. All synchronicities line up. Yeah? But I was actually going to say something, but my brain slipped on it. Oh yeah, the Scorsese part. So yeah, I was saying basically like Scorsese, but no Ice-T and their style. So horrorcore wasn't officially a style, and they weren't the first guys to talk about like violent themes and stuff in their music, but they really did make it their thing. I have to like give them like due for that, good or bad, and positive or negative. Now, I did it right here. I wrote here a little star. Growing up, there were times when playing Mobb Deep would be a source of release on those days when things were tough. It could instigate or diffuse situations depending on the scenario. Now, that's what I was trying to say. It felt a bit weird trying to do this video on a warm day, a sunny day, or even daytime. I felt like I had to be a rainy day and a cold day. Because Mobb Deep, yeah, if anyone knows hip hop, like certain type of hip hop have like a certain type of feel and a certain type of season, and that New York East Coast gritty feeling. Let's just say I'm in my project block, and it's raining and windy, and outside it's not been that. It's been great today. It's been a very Mobb Deepish day in the feel of how they made music. So I feel like definitely the perfect time. So anyway, character-wise, Prodigy was more the spokesperson, and Havoc could play the silent partner, which speaks to the special relationship which I spoke about. Glad I mentioned that because it's flowing together now. It would be thought that from an astrological viewpoint, the Gemini would be the mouthpiece of the operation, and that the Scorpio would assume the silent role, but not always so. So as I say, yeah, you can't take things at face value just because Geminis are supposed to be talkative and Scorpios are supposed to be like quiet and secretive. You'd be surprised how they can come off on appearance, and maybe the ascendant or the moon can affect that, as we're going to come to see. Ooh. So other notable stuff. Also another moniker, Albert Einstein Johnson. Prodigy's government official name, Christian name, call it what you want, Albert Johnson, and Havoc's is Kejuan Muchita actually. And anyway, we're talking about Prodigy. Brought to you by Jet Chicken. I couldn't help it, my Prodigy killed me in that documentary. So anyway, yeah, you need to go and watch documentaries, his book, audio book even, listen to the audio book, which I'll probably talk about further on. And his last album, the Hegelian dialectic, that is absolutely like cream of the crop. And I heard there might have been 2 other parts that he might have recorded already, but if we'll get to see them, it's we'll never know. I hope so. So yeah, 2001 Prodigy released, 2001 released the HNIC album on a solo tip. Yeah, as I said, did the autobiography. Did an audiobook style so you can listen to that. I listened to it and it's just so illuminating about this man and his character and his mind state and his thought. If you really want to like conclude what I'm saying or learn astrology, like look at this man's chart because he actually puts his birth time in the book, right? Which is why it's kind of given a B rating, even though it could be an A or double A. But that's the time why we've got Prodigy's chart at 24 degrees on the ascendant. See if I can just move that off. There we go. Boom. In Cancer. He was born at 9:32 at night in Hempstead. So yeah, what did I also write? Yeah, he wrote the prison cookbook for basically like survival food. So if you only had like a microwave or toaster oven, he's basically wrote a book on how you could make something that could basically get you through. And I think he basically said it'd be a good book for students or people in situations where they don't have much you know, things to use. So yeah, it's a great insight to how this man's mind works and the survival nature of Scorpio. Sorry if I didn't put that out. Yeah. So let's just get into his chart here. Prodigy Sun here, which I'm going to circle, in Scorpio, born in November the 2nd, and he actually has Venus in Scorpio and Mars in Scorpio, so he's got 3 planets in Scorpio, and that gives him quite an intense energy, so to speak. I mean, Mars is the original ruler, this sign here, of Scorpio, and Pluto is considered like a co-ruler of Scorpio, which is a bit further back in Libra. So let's see. P originally from Left Right Hampstead, as I just said. And yeah, he basically started chilling in the QB area of Queens and befriended the locals who liked him so much. He was basically invited as an honourable member of QB, and being a Scorpio, he took that to heart like a sworn oath, and rep QB to the day that he passed. So, like he said he would, and he did. He lived up to it. That's kind of like the Scorpio promise, like do or die, and see it through to the very end. Like, no questions asked. If it really has to be done, it has to be done. When you got a lot in the commitment, that's like life or death. Like, yeah, he really lives that through his heart and soul. I mean, it's easy to see with a guy like Prodigy. On his forearms, he had his Mobb Deep tattoos, and even on his fingers and his knuckles, on them kind of parts there, he had Mobb Deep, like MOBBD. Like, he lived and died and breathed Mobb Deep in Queensbridge. Like, that was him, heart and soul. And do you know what, right? Them guys, right, when you listen to his book, man, they were just straight hooligans, rowdy, 90s hip hop, like, and even into the 2000s. But, like, yeah, man, they really, really, like, lived that life to the next level, man, and did it big. Or tried to anyway, you know, where I could. And, let's see where I'm at. I get past that. So, anyway, yeah, P actually did the same thing, I feel, with Alchemist, I put here. Alchemist also being a Scorpio from what I can remember, and like when they linked, they just hit it off and had that thing. He heard his music and like felt his vibe. In fact, P says in his book, right, that he actually thought Alchemist might be like hip hop feds. Crazy as you like, yeah, he's like, oh, hip hop feds are stick now. They got guys that can make beats. Like P was just mad, but like nah, like he got in with Alk and seeing how down he was, like that Alchemist, like a true Scorpio, took that life and death, heart and soul, and like he just made Alchemist a member of like the mob and that. So like he's like a part member of that as well. So if he gets mentioned, like I say, I already mentioned him when he repped it when he called money. So but yeah, what have I put here? Friendship, honor, loyalty, betrayal, sharing, pain, inflicted or suffered. Prodigy comes from a musical family with a father, grandfather, and grand uncle. So let me see if I can flip to the right page here. Bada bang. Read a little bit about R.I.P. American rapper and one half of hip hop duo Mobb Deep with Havoc. He comes from a musical family. His grandfather, Bud Johnson. Yo, Bud Johnson was a bad boy, underrated bad boy of like bebop jazz, yeah. And it says here, and his great uncle Keg Johnson are remembered for their contributions to the bebop era of jazz. Now, I listened to the one piece that I could find that's on YouTube, and I like jazz anyway, so I mean, yeah, I was really feeling it. It's called Yesterdays, I believe. Check that out in your own time if you like music. Boy, that Jet Chicken's really bringing it to you right today, but you know what? It's going to power me through this video, so bear with me, man. Yeah, so it's just talking about released the infamous in 1995. Blah 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 blah. Oh right, okay. So we'll get to this anyway. He served 3-year sentence in mid-state, basically, for a gun possession charge. And this is what I'm saying. Did mention that Prodigy liked his guns, and like I mean, he really liked his guns. Like sings about a lot of his music. That's the kind of music he made. That was the kind of like style that he was portraying, the gangsterism, how to say mafioso. It's more grimy, just more just straight hood survival, like fighting to the death. Like, oh, so one thing I forgot to say, yeah, Prodigy was born with sickle cell, yeah. So this guy was basically fighting from his life from he was born in a lot of situations. He was in and out of the hospital so much that he'd grown accustomed to either seeing death just through being in the hospital or being in so much pain and feeling like he was near death. I mean, he used to have a lot of, like, I want to say, well, yeah, there's venom in his heart. Like, he used to think that, like, he'd been cursed with, like, a condition that, like, you know, he used to pray to be out of pain and nothing would happen sometimes. So, like, he become bitter, very bitter, and that's what comes through in his music and in his life. But anyway, let's jump back to his chart anyway. Show you something that I noticed about Prodigy as soon as I seen it. It's got Saturn here, so if anyone don't know that symbol, I'll show you. I've actually got it there. This is the symbol Saturn here, and that's the ascendant. And basically, the ascendant's the person, the body, the physical, like, yeah, the self. The first house, the face, the head, the first house, and the personality covers all those things. So, although Saturn's in his 12th house, it's actually close enough to the ascendant, subconscious energy, like to say the 12 houses. So, something maybe you can't see, but other people can see. But it's very apparent with Prodigy in the fact that, what are you doing? In the fact that basically, if you've ever seen him, he moved very slow, very deliberate. And he actually speaks about it in his book that he actually learned to do that because it helped him cope with his sickle cell pains, especially through the cold weather of New York. So anyway, right, let me just wrap to the fullest, right? First, you got the black and red for, like, you know, Scorpio P, yeah? But then you got NY, right? For the whole of Black Queens and all of them. But on the back of this top, right, I when I got this a very like while back anyway, I never noticed. Well, I did notice that there's obviously something on the back, but I couldn't put it together. It actually says the 12th ward red hook. Now I know that might not be the same red hook because I checked there's a couple of red hooks in New York, but like, yeah, they say like Node comes from there, so shout out to Node as well. Like, oh, it's like Node's bars and that. But so what's your poison? My man says Peace of Somerville, which is or Somervillans even, Illa people, and then it goes from Red Hook to QB, you know the routine. Anyway, yeah, that's one of them lines, and Core Mega's on that track. But everyone remembers that track, so if you don't know it, get to know it, it's dope. What am I looking for? I'm wondering, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Why my screen's not come back? My internet's playing up. Do this to me. Absolutely. Yeah, welcome to the hood. Try and get that to... You pause for a second, y'all. Boom. So anyway, try to pick up from where I left off. My internet dropped out and welcome to the hood. But luckily I got some backup because like that was just trying to hate on the flow. Maybe because I'm speaking about Pete and these real life issues. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the fact that I try to tap it from a weak link. Anyway, I'm back and I got my screens so I can do what I want to do. Then we get to it. So yeah, if I didn't say it, Prodigy, Cancer Rising, Aries Midheaven, Gemini Moon, Scorpio Sun. These are all important placements that will be significant in a person's chart. And what else is important? Well, I mean, it's got Venus by the Sun. Venus talks about creativity and music and art, and I mean, he probably embodied that quite to the fullest. Now, what else have I noticed about Prodigy chart? So I was talking about the ascendant and him having Saturn by there, and that he moved very slow and deliberately due to like his sickle cell, and so it didn't set it off and basically put him in the crisis situation where he had to go to the hospital frequently. So yeah, that's why you very see him. So you see him moving very, you know, slow and deliberately, and that's called for. But the other thing I've also heard about Saturn is it gives you a stern demeanor, and it truly did have that. Now, the deeper reason to it, I mean, apart from the fact that it's a Scorpio, and that's quite a thing, or can be a thing, the control of the facial features, or just of the body in general, and the expressions, and to conceal all the intense emotion that he truly feels. I mean, that is one thing that can come from the Scorpio. But having the Saturn on the ascendant, you could be any sign, and having that, even if you weren't, I mean, I guess you probably are prone to having a more serious outlook on life, just because you will have sometimes more responsibility or more setbacks or more delays because Saturn brings those things, and overcoming those supposedly makes you, well, it definitely makes you a stronger person in the end if it doesn't, break you basically. Um, so yeah, Mars in Scorpio adds to the sheer intensity of Prodigy's other planets in Scorpio, and also just his drive and his will and his intensity as a person, and how he acted and how he maneuvered himself throughout life. He was I like to say, well, I can't say openly, but I mean almost openly combative, in the sense of that, like, he liked a good scrap or a good fight, in the sense that if not physical, I mean, he was like, I wouldn't say he was a fighter, he was a dirty brawler that would swing something at you and try and take your head off, like, by all means, or try and blow it off with one of his many fire pieces. He's from America, so like, don't act like I'm talking about something that don't be like normal where he's from. So I mean, it's not that he really be doing that all the time or something, but it's just like, I think that's kind of his defense mechanism to basically say, look, I've got this, don't mess with me. And that's kind of really what it was. It's kind of more of a self-defense, like, if you come to me, I've got this, know that, always know that. And that's kind of what he was always stating in his music. Personally, like, I know, rather than, I mean, as much as it's like there was much aggression, openly, and there was a lot of fighting, like, they always say, well, not they always say, but that basically throughout the storybook and the autobiography of his and their times. But no, I don't really think that his intentions were as like his music and the murder talk and all that weren't really to kill people. It's just to hurt people and let them know that we're really mean and we're big and we're bad. Kind of scare tactics, which is quite Scorpio actually. Intimidation. There we go. That is something that can be also Scorpio. Do not get me wrong. It's a sign that will put you to bed, and like, I say, not think twice about it. I'll think all the way about it and happily do it. But I mean, in the sense that, like, it's only doing it feels threatened. Like, if you cross him in any way or reason, shape or form. So I mean, that's the kind of energy of that sign and the nature when you have like Mars and maybe the Sun in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio as well. To be fair, if you have that all together. So yeah, that's speaking to the personal planets. Now, it's got Mercury retrograde, which definitely is going to get spoken to. If not on an individual level, then at least in the fact that it ties in with Havoc's chart. But no, it's Mercury at 24 degrees Libra retrograde. He had a way with words, Prodigy. There's no two ways about that. I mean, even his cadence and his style was different. Now, I think this Mercury retrograde speaks to why, if you listen to Prodigy's earlier pieces, rhymes, and art, you'll find that a lot of his bars are more than a lot of his verses are more than 16 bars. Now, I heard something about him, something along the lines about he didn't know about 16 bar song structure or anything like that when he first started writing, so he just used to write what he felt to write, and obviously that was a lot, being intense, or an intense Scorpio. But better yet, with Mercury retrograde, it's kind of, and in Libra as well, it makes you go over and check, kind of makes you do things in your own individual unique ways, the best way to put it actually. And if you ever like, I'm gonna get to Havoc, right? Havoc deserves his dues, because as much as I'm talking about Prodigy, yeah, listening to a lot of Mobb recently, just getting back into the flavour and that, Havoc is absolutely, like, I mean, producing, yeah, But like, there's not many producers that spit as good as Hav. There just isn't, man. I mean, his flow. When Prodigy like you'll hear him say it himself. Like when he first started spitting, he thought Hav was a better rhymer than him in like initially. Like, and that's hard kind of like for Prodigy to admit. Prodigy as a Scorpio, I guess, to admit, but like when he was looking at it like from the off, like these guys met in like 1989 when they were like 14, 15 years old. Prodigy actually had a record deal on the table at the time, but he doesn't actually take it because he meets Havoc just before he's about to sign this particular deal and builds such a bond with Havoc that he basically takes Havoc to the record label and goes, either take us both or I'm not really taking the deal. So they didn't want to take them both, so he doesn't take the deal. But strangely enough, this I believe ends up paying off for him in the long run. And I don't think he would have had it any other way really. But I mean, I've put the composite chart together and they've actually got like Jupiter trine Saturn, and I was reading about that in the book, and basically it was speaking to how that could make two people just work that much better together than they could on their own. So I mean, these guys are like really destined to like be together. And you know what? It's 11 degrees actually, 1-on-1, two guys. Like, yeah, think about that. And then Prodigy's born on the 2nd as well. That's another 2. So, so how am I explaining that? Let's see. Whose is this? This Havoc's, yeah. So Havoc's Saturn at 3 degrees. Prodigy Saturn at 18 degrees. In between them is 11 degrees. And then Prodigy's Jupiter and Havoc's Jupiter, 7 and 14. In between, the middle of that is 11 degrees again. That's called midpoints. So when you take two people's planets and you move them to the middle where they would meet, basically kind of like joining the charts together and making it one chart, you get what you call a composite chart. I mean, have I got it up for these guys? There we go. That's the chart I'm talking about. So this is the 11 degrees Jupiter and the 11 degrees Saturn. So when you push those two charts together, you actually get what looks like a grand square and a grand trine, and that like basically speaks to why they were such an outfit, and there'll never be another Mobb Deep. I mean, P always used to say that, like, and used to think he was blowing his own trumpet quite a lot. But when you listen back to all of his stuff and what he did, and like everyone says it, like at least from 95 to 2000, he was one of the best, if not top 3, if not that, he was a problem, a real problem. I mean, everyone had their favourite rapper, but you could not count P out. And I mean, even later on than that, like, and I swear down, actually, in a lot of the later albums that I ended up hearing after time when things, basically when he went independent and didn't promote so much, some of the stuff was good. Some of it was better than other stuff, I believe. But like, the stuff what was good, was good. I liked one that I found, the gem, what was it called? Product of the 80s. Yeah, I like that one. Bangers on that one. So anyway, yeah, I was talking about Prodigy's Mercury being also as a fixed star at 24 degrees Libra, and I might as well speak to it. And it's called, well, there's two actually, they work in a pair. Speaker or Spiker, the pronunciation on that one's always a bit, I'm not sure. Arcturus. But these fixed stars tend to give the planets or the people that have planets on them, don't know if it's because they're extra special qualities, but I mean, depending on the stars that they join to. But yeah, there's definitely something with the 24th degree of Libra around there. And it has connotations to art and success in the arts. And if I flip back, I'm going to go on so far because I got it. Boom. So yeah, these two guys' charts. Prodigy's chart, it's got the Mercury there. Havoc's chart, Uranus. So they're both at 24 degrees Libra. So it's conjunction. So yeah, they both got like influence to be honest with you, right, what I put, and I put it at the back of the notes, but I might as well get to it now. This is what made P the writer, the writing machine, the beast. This is what made Havoc the production beast. Because I believe Prodigy actually had equipment before Havoc, and let Havoc use the equipment, and then Havoc just, you know, he was gone. As people, Havoc was, he looked like he was in another world. Like spirits had taken over him, and I believe it's probably the same way P looks when he's writing. So that speaks to why we've got all this quality music from Mobb Deep. Well, at least some of it anyway, or speaks to some of it, I should say. There's lots of signatures these guys have got together. So yeah, that's all these monikers. So yeah, let me speak about the destiny of these two guys. So the North Node. Now, the reason why I'm using Prodigy's chart as the main base and Havoc's chart as a secondary base is because I don't have a birth time for Havoc. So I've just had to put it at midday on the day that he's born, which is the 21st of May. And I might as well just blitz through this part now and actually say that the 21st of May, Havoc, here we go, puts his sun in Gemini. So, what I say hopefully, but I mean, as long as he's not born before like 6 a.m. or something on that day, his sun will be in Gemini. So, and his moon, depending on what time he's born, could be in Gemini as well. But I'm going to say it's in Taurus, because it does feel like if he had the moon in Gemini, he'd probably be a more speaking partner. Though he is a great writer, and that might speak to the music and the artistry in his production and his patience and how long he takes to make music. I definitely suspect that he might be a moon in Taurus, but it's hard to say. But yeah, here we go, Mercury in Gemini. So he also has the writing capacity or the ability to be multi-talented. Gemini is the sign of the twins, and it's actually ruled by Mercury. In this position, having Mercury in Gemini will give you that ability to be, if not multilingual, then at least very flexible to ideas and open to different ways of thought and experimental thinking. And yeah, Mercury basically likes to try new things. Gemini likes to try new things. And yeah, communication or that kind of thing. So Havoc can basically produce and like write lyrics and produce other styles of music. In fact, little side note, he actually produced, or co-produced I should say, Real Friends by Kanye West with a couple other guys as well. Well, Kanye, I'm not sure who else's name was on it, but Havoc might have been Ty Dolla $ign, or he's on the track anyway. Oh, it's someone else, can't remember his name anyway. So anyway, point being with that, Real Friends, like the synchronicity of that, I mean, him and Havoc, absolutely, like, I mean, him and Prodigy, like, you know, Prodigy used to like refer to Havoc as his brother, and Havoc, like, you know, always seemed a little bit more detached, but I guess that speaks to the fact that Havoc's a Gemini and Prodigy's a Scorpio, and but no, like, it's like, you know, very, very, if not the closest friends, like, but the thing that, like, P said, like, regardless if they were friends or had like little minor beefs and that, it's like, we was eating together, i.e. like, he's my business partner, like, yo, like, we've got families, we've got to do things, like, we've got to get over little minor, like, issues and that. So these guys are like very drama prone due to like some of the elements in the charts. I mean, you'll see that they've got conjunctions of Mars and Saturn, and Havoc has a square, like, here we go, Venus to Mars, so they're both 18 degrees. So that square can kind of speak to Havoc. I'd say hard to please, I've put it as. But I think that attests like his production and him making music and him wanting to get it right. So he take a long time with that. I work hard at that. But I mean, one part of him want to do it real quick, Aries, and the other part of him wants to feel right, Cancer. So there'll always be kind of like the fight between the two. So yeah, what was I saying about the 21st of May? Well, if you didn't know, most people, I say most people, if you're in hip hop, Biggie Smalls, 21st of May, well, very famous Gemini. But also, what I come to find out, Ronald Isley, aka Ron Isley of the Isley Brothers, is the 21st of May. And it's not like even that weird. Well, I would say it's not weird. It's not strange to mention him. Thought it'd be like a left field shot. But actually, he's actually got a song with Mobb Deep. Here We Go Again on the Infamy album. So Havoc, Ron Isley, and Prodigy all on one track. And Havoc and Ron Isley have the same birthday, except Ron Isley is 26 years. Havoc Senior, 26. Bad math, 23. 33? God damn. But no, but there you go. Prodigy, you like that one. 33 years between Havoc and Ron Isley. Only like Prodigy probably would have like clocked that straight away, or of that nature. And he loved these 33. And anyway, I have to also mention Kane Robinson. Kane Robinson. That's Kano. He's also the 21st. Now, basically, they're all the 21st, but they're all very prolific or very well known for what they do. All of these people on the 21st of May that I put there. So that's just to speak to the fact that it's not having the same year that these guys are born, but certain days in the year or certain signs have certain qualities or talents that pertain to communicating, music, or how they use the gifts. And some people say Biggie Smalls one of the best that ever did it. Some people say the same thing about Kano, say the same thing about Ron Isley. All of them's like, can't argue with what they do and what they've done. So anyway, speaking about their war music, Prodigy and Havoc. Go to Havoc. Yeah, so Havoc and his war music, as I'm calling it. Music, Venus, Aries. So he's got Venus in Aries, war. Even 18, 1 and 8, 9, Mars, Aries, war. So I feel like this pertains to why Havoc made that kind of edgy, gritty music. And then squaring Mars as well, it definitely add fire to the flame of why Havoc's music has that edge. But I actually wrote about it being very cinematic, just to go off the top. It's a bit weird for me to write, and I've said this before, for me to talk and do notes and that when I'm just like to flow off the top naturally. I'm just taking my time with it. Work is work, and I'm enjoying myself. Trying to get it right, but it's one of those, man. You just gotta work at it, aren't you? I mean, I know loads of what I want to say, translating it, relaying it to you, working at it, everything. Saturn, you get better with practice, and I'm just, strong enough and brave enough to admit that. Right, so I've got here. Right, okay. Let me jump back to Peace Chart and talk about this guy as an individual. So he's got Mercury conjunct Uranus. So I've put equals outspoken, genius, instant downloads, mental alertness. And then squaring Saturn. So yeah, Saturn squaring it. Suggests further pragmatism. And I put equal Albert Einstein Johnson. And I've got Pluto conjoined to the IC as a significant point. Now, talk about all four was born with pain. My mum's and my pops passed it down to me in 1974. Yo, that's from You Could Never Feel My Pain. Think quite better do it right. But point being with that anyway, is when I was listening to his audio book, he talks about he felt like, I'm not sure if it was a cesarean section, he didn't quite say it, but I've seen this signature in people who are cesarean sections. But he does talk about feeling like he was ripped out of the room and he wasn't ready to come out. And I get the feeling that he had the angry face when he did come out. He was dragged out, he was forced out, probably because it was imperative to his health or his mother's, I'm guessing. But anyway, Mars trine Jupiter I've got here. So let's see. Mars in Scorpio at 3 degrees is in trine 120 degree aspect, so it's just slightly out. Call them orbs to give it allowance. To is Jupiter at 7 degrees Pisces. So Mars being the planet of action, energy, doing things, in a trine harmonious action with Jupiter in Pisces, is definitely going to add to his creative energy, I would say. And also Venus is like trying that Jupiter as well. So I'd say he put his heart and soul into what he worked at, because the creativity of Pisces and artisticness, in tandem with the raw passion of the Mars in Scorpio and the Venus in Scorpio, like Prodigy's heart and soul was his work. You know what I mean? His music was his heart and soul. He loved that stuff, man. And you can tell, like, he was serious about it. What have I got here? Sun conjunct Venus, trine Jupiter, and then I've also got Pluto in conjunct Jupiter. So let's have a look. Pluto, yeah, so it's an exact in conjunct. So this guy was basically supremely obsessive, I would say, because when you get an in conjunct aspect, you get kind of like, you try to balance an unbalanced weight, so you kind of go like, instead of like an opposition where it can kind of more easily come to a balance, with we call it quincunx, or in conjunct, I'm gonna call it quincunx, it's easier for me. With the quincunx, you get the situation where he's going to be too much in his Pluto or too much in his Jupiter, backwards and forth between the two. So I'd say that's a significant aspect for Prodigy. Also, it's got Mars conjunct Uranus. Oh yeah, run bang on me. So this guy, right, I ain't gonna go into Che Guevara and all that, but he's known as a revolutionary. And what I've got here, Mars and Uranus, revolutionary, rebellistic streak, and put equals big guns. Now Prodigy, yeah, Mars guns, shocking, like surprise. Like he likes to pull out the big weapons. Anyone's ever seen Don't Be a Menace to South Central, yeah? And Low Dog gets into that little beef like outside the store. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna get into it, but like, who's got the biggest firepower? Prodigy was probably like one of those guys that like to play that game. Yeah, I've already spoke to him, loving his conflict and that Mars and Venus in Scorpio, or the spice anyway. Like, you know, he was up for a bit of spice, a bit of controversy. Yeah, Prodigy was no stranger to that. And just that's what made him him. He said it in his book, and he liked to cause trouble when he was young, when it was just in him, he just had it in him. And when people say that, you see people like, I feel like the Scorpio energy and even the Mars and the Uranus as well together, that speaks to just having it in your well, Mars and Scorpio, sorry, Mars and Uranus together is that it's practically doing something wild or random or out of control or not under the guise of anybody else. Whereas, yeah, the Mars and the Venus together, that speaks to, you know, intense passion. So, well, in Scorpio, definitely. Bit of a fight. Like, he liked to fight, I like to say. I mean, if he didn't, like, his music spoke like a lot of volumes to saying that he did. So, go figure. Moon in Gemini, natural orator. So, yeah, like, this is why I think Prodigy actually took over and became the speaker out of him and Havoc. Now, if you actually see, and I'll get into the synastry, but Havoc's Mercury, Prodigy's Moon, same degree of Gemini. And you'll actually see a series of conjunctions or partile aspects, which basically exact aspects between these guys. And that's why they're just such a force together. Even if they got on each other's nerves, like, it's one of those, like, every relationship has its troubles and its rubs. Like, do not think it doesn't. You'd be naive if you thought that way. Oh, so I've also put Mercury trine Uranus. Oh no, Moon trine Mercury Uranus. So he's intuitively quick thinker, I believe. And then yeah, I put about the Saturn on the ascendant. I put about the Aries midheaven and the 3 years that he did in prison. Oh, and then like, yeah, concealed weapon. So Mars, Scorpio, concealed, but Aries, the midheaven, also ruled by Mars. So yeah, that brought him into trouble with the law, which is Saturn. And the 12th house actually is to prisons actually. So I mean, it can speak to spending the time in a hospital as well actually. So he spent a lot of time in hospital growing up, and that could speak to having Saturn in the 12th house. being a sickly child. But yeah, he also spent the time in prison, and that's when he actually got his health together. Once he, had more time to get disciplined and think about his life, that's when he actually wrote his book and a lot of the music that actually started to become more conscious. Now, initially, he was feeding it in bit by bit, but as he gets to like the last albums and that, like he starts really just going hell for leather and saying what he wants to say. Personally, I believe this might be like part of the problem of why we have no longer a Mobb Deep. But like he said it, so like he knew what time it was, man. He was just trying to let people know, and pretty much like went for the cause. That's, call it what you want, man. Like I don't know, not even I don't know, man. Like um, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Da, 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 da. Yeah, and if you don't know about that, you don't know. So what have we got here? Individual sinners. So yeah, but I suspect that P knew his chart real well. Prodigy was destined to be famous and spiritual in music and in life. So why have I put that? Because I was talking about him having the North Node here and Neptune. So Neptune can speak to fame or be known on the screen, or it can also speak to spirit and church, or it can speak to drugs as well. It can speak to escapism, all of these kinds of things. Now the reason why I think he was definitely going to be famous for like what he was doing in making music is because the fifth house speaks to creativity and art. So also like it's the sign of Leo, but to perform and make a big like career out of it and be known as a superstar, and having a North Node and Neptune in the fifth house, he's made that work like in that way. So that's definitely something to me. He came from a musical background family as well, so like he had like a footing, if you know what I mean. In fact, you know what I've got to mention? His mum was a singer, I think, with the doo-wops. And I mean, his dad did a little thing that was like in the church days as well, and did his little thing. But his mum was the big one out of them two, and yeah, music was just running all the way through Prodigy's family. His grandma actually owned a dance studio in Jamaica, Queens, and yep, shout out Jamaica, Jamaica. Get it in without tearing down my actual background. Got problems with that. But anyway, yeah, his grandmother had Fran, no you don't. Had the dance studio, and she was like the first woman to have a business and her own kind of like company. She used to basically be like a splurger and a baller and that, because like she come from the area where black folk didn't really have nothing, and like her parents were probably slaves, and like they seen the hardest of the hardest and the roughest of the roughest, and they knew the difference between having money, not having money, and the treatment between how that was. And she just like to stunt like P's gran was the original stunter. Stunt 101, Prodigy's granny. Like, check it out. So anyway, that is what that is. I was just giving the background and the thinking behind that. And he says it in his book, like I say. So there we go. What have I put? So the fifth house. Oh, but squaring Jupiter. Here we go. So this would suggest that his wisdom, Jupiter talks about wisdom, high purpose. And this is actually quite funny because it was for the best part until the end of his life. But like his wisdom was at cross purpose with his like spirituality and his belief as well, or what he was actually becoming famous for. So later on in his life, once Prodigy become more openly conscious and speaking about things that he knew and understood, basically Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body. Secret society, try to keep an eye on me, all that kind of bar, yeah. He started that from way back, but like went along that line and that path, yeah. So yeah, but the other thing was just like the murder, that basically murder, death, kill, all that kind of music. Like he weren't making conscious music. That energy, like he come to understand, wasn't like perpetuating good in life. Once he got to 33 years old and he had time to go to prison and really like grow up, because that was the thing, he basically was on the music scene from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, and was just living that life up until the prison sentence, really. And that's what he's saying really woke him up and changed him. He always knew stuff, never really ready to make the conscious leap and the moving decision to live that life. So, you know, said this wouldn't be a short video, so, you know, is what it is. If I was doing a reading for one of y'all, like, I put a lot of time and effort into this, so I mean, it can be fast to do, but like if I was rushing it and going through as fast as I won't say I'd like to, but as I think I need to, and that, like, maybe yeah, you'd be able to pick up points, maybe it suit you better. But well, if you want to learn and you really like into this, or either one of you into Mobb Deep or two into astrology, then you'd appreciate it. If not, then obviously like you wouldn't be here at this point. So it is what it is, isn't it? I'm also the point. Everyone in this generation wants that microwave food, wants that quick. I want to know now, like no patience for anything. I'm not expecting anyone to just watch this all in one go. You don't have to. That's why it's here to come back to. It's a video. But yeah, like even I get scared by long videos. Ain't going to lie. But sometimes I actually look forward to a long video. Depends what I'm doing and what depth I can get out of it. So I'm going to try and cover all the bases, seeing as like, you know, taking my sweet merry time. Because I don't feel like it should be rushed. And I appreciate Lada for saying what she said yesterday, because I'm sick of this rush. Like, it ain't 2 minutes, it ain't 5 minutes. We don't want to click on the video malarkey. Like, you don't get an education in 3 seconds. Like, you can't grow a potato in a minute. That's probably why people are getting sick. Because you all try to eat potatoes that were grown in like 6 minutes. Sure. Anyway, run over. Boom. So yeah, I was basically talking about the square between Jupiter and Neptune. And then I think that it seems to me that he managed to integrate his wisdom and his purpose, the purpose of the North Node and where he's going in life. And yeah, in the later years with the album, The Hegelian Dialectic, the false illusion of the binary system, good versus evil equals propaganda. Now, I am going to get into what that is. You can look that up if you really want to look that up, but I'll spell it for you. Hegelian, Hegelian, dialectic, Dialectic. I'll slow down. Dialectic, dialectic, Hegelian dialectic. I say Hegelian, but I think the guy was called Hegel. So yeah, Havoc, able to make gold out of lead, though. Well, yeah, in fact, not though. And I say Alchemist was the next one in line with his own style. So he's called Alchemist, Lead Gold, you know what I mean? The connection. And then again, Alchemist was a Scorpio and Havoc a Gemini, so I think they share a little special relationship and, you know, they cool. Like, Alchemist respects Havoc, like, you know, totally because of, like, everything he's done in the game and whatnot. And Havoc respects Alchemist because he is a tight producer, like, you know, probably taught Havoc a thing or two. So, you know, it is what it is. Love is love. So I spoke about his Venus, Aries, squaring Mars in Cancer. Okay, have. Let me get into you, have. Got Venus in partile sextile to Mercury. So I feel like what I've put here, mental capacity and artistic talent equals harmonious. Yeah, there you go. Beats, rhyme. Sorry. Yeah, beats, rhymes. So it's Gemini in Mercury, accounts for his writing ability in sextile, exact 60 degrees. So that's why he sees the line here. Aspect 2 is Venus. That that's why he has that ability, I feel anyway, astrologically, where he can join his beats and rhymes and he just has a way of doing it that just works really well. 18 degrees Aries, Venus, 18 degrees Mercury, Gemini. So 60 degrees apart. Also, he's got Mercury trine. So there you go, Mercury trine Uranus. And I think this speaks to his mental genius as well. Like him and Prodigy, like air signs in the Mercury department with Uranus connections. They're radical thinkers and they thought really quick. Like they was on their own level together. Then you got Venus opposite Uranus. There we go. So I feel like that's a creative burst in fits and spurts. So yeah, sometimes Havoc would be on it and he worked really hard, and other time like he just have to do it when it comes to him and the feeling's really there and be inspired. So I can imagine that's how he's powered where that's concerned. Mars in Cancer trying to Jupiter in Pisces. Here we go. So that also speaks to Havoc having, so both actually got this trine, but Havoc's got it Mars in Cancer to Jupiter in Pisces, whereas Prodigy had Mars in Scorpio to Jupiter in Pisces. So I mean, strangely enough, yeah, like they both got trines but in different signs to Jupiter in the same sign. But I'd say that gave him extra energy, and that was fueled by emotive feeling. That's why when you listen to Havoc's music, you can feel it. Like, take it how you want, good, bad, or ugly. You can feel Havoc's music. I've put the Jupiter in Pisces, which is this here, as like the reason that Havoc's music has a cinematic feel. I feel that he uses a lot of samples from movies and films, a bit like RZA, and you can hear that in his sound. And yeah, it's very chilling. That's the kind of sound that he goes for. Mars square Uranus, I've put down there. So let's have a look. Mars, yep, in square to Uranus. That would speak to sporadic action. Mars being action, Uranus being that inspired sporadic action, or about sporadic inspiration to take action and do things of a rebellistic nature. So I believe that, like, basically when he's with the boys and it kicked off, Havoc would get wild. He wasn't necessarily one to get wild straight out for getting wild sake, but if it comes to it, he'd back himself and he'd do what he got to do. So like, don't sleep on Havoc, basically. Oh, what else we put? Saturn square Pluto. Now, I actually like. I'd say that is So there you go. Saturn at 3 degrees, Pluto at 4 degrees. So Saturn's in Cancer, water sign, cardinal sign in the 11th house, and in the second house, Pluto is at 4 degrees in Libra, an air sign, cardinal as well. So they're both like initiative, leading signs. Anyway, Saturn rules structure, Pluto rules destruction in one party in sense. And the point being, anyway, Saturn is the structure. If Pluto basically threatens to destroy the structure or forces you to work with less, and I put it here that the minimalist production, no frills, generational aspect could be an experience of an outside event, but psychologically predisposition to dealing with oppressive situations or environments. So, like, I mean, probably just growing up in the hood with a big family and that, like, Havoc had to work with little, and he made like a lot out of a little, and yeah, bet he took Prodigy's records, and I mean, Prodigy had a big record collection, like from his granddad actually, who kept loads and loads and loads of stuff. So, I mean, between that and whatever he could get his hands on, the guy's been some fire. Okie dokie, get into the good stuff. Right, the synastry between these two guys. Boom, da da boom. And respect to anybody who's still with me, being patient. Can't rush good things. So here we go. These guys, yeah, these guys were together like early life or even a past life. Why am I saying that? Well, you can see here the moon, Prodigy, which is most likely an accurate time, is on the south node of Havoc. And south node, if anyone doesn't know, this upside down looking horseshoe thing, is a signifier of someone's past, maybe early like growing up life, or if you're into or have any belief in reincarnation and karma and past lives. The south node this theory in astrology has come up in the last, not that long, I'd say. I'm not sure if it's been here for 100 years, but anyway, it's very heavily spoken that the nodes speak to the karma and incarnations. So, yeah, it's like they've been family because the moon speaks to family and origins. They like, or they feel like family, and that's why one used to call them a brother, you know. And then also, like, what have we got here? We've got the Mercury and the Uranus thing that I've mentioned. So, Moon Mercury, ability to, so the Moon of Prodigy and the Mercury of Havoc. So I put together the ability to speak to each other on a mental and emotional level. And then with the Mercury and Uranus, and then these actually trine each other as well. So these are an actual aspect in air. So that's why it works together as such a strong unit. And they are able to give each other space, I guess, enough to work together. So Mercury and Uranus conjunct in synastry. Both planets deal with mental and scientific matters, with Uranus bringing the radical genius in its innovative edge. So yeah, Havoc was wild, or made Prodigy be more wild. I guess together they were just yeah, gruesome twosome. Then you've got Mars conjunct Saturn. Oh, sorry, let's say. Yeah, that's right. Let's just double check this. So you've got Mars and Saturn trine in this chart. Oh, sorry. Mars of Prodigy trine Saturn of Havoc, and then Mars of Havoc conjunct Saturn of Prodigy. So yeah, one has the trine to one another, and the other has the conjunction to one another. That's quite a significant aspect because that talks about how they do things and how structured and how much discipline's in it. So I don't know. I'd be like, Havoc's try to do something. P could sometimes be a block to it, but P does something and Havoc enables it. Like, I don't know, it might be that way, it might not be that way, it can work both ways, but that's a simplistic way to put it. I don't think it worked like that all in all, to be honest with you, because there's so much other stuff going for this relationship. Here we go. The source of contention between these guys, Venus, well, it's not the Venus Mars situation. Well, yeah, it's not that because that's Havoc on his own. It's the Venus square Saturn. So I feel like there may have been uncomfortability between the two of them, but it may have been subconscious on Prodigy's level, seeing as this is in his 12th house of unconscious. So you see the 12 there. But yeah, this is in the 10th house. So basically, what he used to want, Prodigy, was Havoc to get his stuff together, in the sense that he looked at Mobb Deep as such a business and that had the capacity to do so much that all of the sloppiness and the over partying and all that stuff started to cost him, and he recognised it. And he recognised it before Havoc, in some sense, he says in the book. And with that being the case, I could see that's probably where the square of Venus, squaring Saturn, probably played out in that relationship between the two of them and the whole gang. But yeah, what did I write here? P thought Hav was lazy. Hav thought P was too much of an authoritarian. And he's even said it in the book, to be honest with you. Hav was one of the man them, and P was not about that after a point in time. So I've already done the moon link there. Yep, that's all of the planets. So, actually got through that a little bit quicker than I thought. I think I covered everything. All of my notes, anyway. So, I mean, I could have went into more, or could have like maybe flowed it a little bit better. But essentially, yeah, these guys have got speak about 6 conjunctions in synastry or something like that. Yeah, we go. Conjunction, 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 trine, square, conjunction, Also, I didn't even speak about them having yeah, they've got Neptune at the same degree here, so that may speak to them having the same fate and fame. One is retrograde and one is direct, but yeah, they eventually come together and got that together, and that's maybe why they became famous as a pair. Anything else I missed off? No, I'd say that's about it. So, you know what, right? If y'all are still with me, y'all like that. I mean, it took me a minute to get this done, and I'm gonna have to look over it. But yeah, like I say, I'll happily do that for, I mean, a relationship between significant people if both parties give consent, because I need birth times, and I'd say for ethics, responsibility's sake, yeah, you can only talk so much about another person's chart if they haven't given any consent to do it, and they're not like, you know, a public figure and all that kind of thing. I mean, unless you're going out with someone in the public, like, that'd be different, but yeah, I'm just talking about in a normal sense, like what I feel comfortable doing, and you know, working with people and providing services. But yo, I've been loving you and leaving you because it's been quite a long video. But please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I'll be back with more videos soon as possible. Yeah, got your boy 444. We out.